Ooh, man, what is going on this Wednesday night? It is hump day. It's the middle of the week. Almost to that payday if you get paid on Friday. It is the Get Snap podcast. It is the BAWD Superman himself, DarnellSparrow, and back from Vegas. Probably partied out, but you never know in the life of a PIMP. I got the notorious one, Antoine Smooth. What's going on?
Man, what's going on? How you doing, man? Back in the M after, man, partying in Vegas, man. It was a good time. I want to thank everybody for coming out, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and from what I understand, they got some things happen we can't even talk about on the podcast because I
Nah,
would say it's a family show, but that's gonna be when we start doing Get Snap Live. At some point, we get it on Facebook. But you already know what time it is. It is the Wednesday night Q&A. But before I start, we had some fans ask us, are we gonna do some NXT or some AEW? Reviews as well. We can definitely do that. We can watch AEW one week. We can watch NXT one week. When we can lay off the Q&As if that's what y'all want. See, we all about what y'all want.
right.
So we definitely gonna be making some changes when we get to season 2. When we get to episode 31, we're gonna jump into a whole new season. We're gonna be jumping in, talking about probably some other things as well. So just be looking out for that. But it is the Q&A time. I have got papers on top of questions. Thank y'all for once again coming through. We definitely love y'all and appreciate it. But we just gonna jump right into it. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Mike, the first question came through was, what is your favorite wrestling program
Oh man,
ever?
there's a lot of man ever. Okay. Well, I would say this. My favorite of all time was Primetime Wrestling.
Okay.
That was my favorite outside of Memphis Wrestling, of course. That's always gonna be there. But the one that was constant to me was Primetime Wrestling. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan hosting it. Man,
Yep.
you guaranteed to laugh every time you watch them.
Oh yes. My personal favorite was Saturday night's main event.
That was good too. Oh
Saturday
yeah.
night event, and the reason for that is we got to see matches we probably would never see. You got to see guys who will probably never get a championship match on a pay per view or just get that push, but on that one night every month or every other month, they getting opportunities. So when the last time you saw the Genius get a shot at the WWE Championship?
Exactly. You're right.
I mean,
That was a big deal.
you would never see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way they used to come up with when they do the intro, they'll cut their promos, have their logos or designs, what have you, in the background.
Right.
I used to like that. And to be honest with you, I mean, I know they brought Saturday Night's main event back for a short stint in the mid 2000s, but they need to do that. They need to bring that back. I don't even care if it's Saturday Night's main event for NXT
Right.
or
They
be that
doing it
one,
for Halloween Havoc, so why not?
which we will be talking about a little bit. That's one of the questions that I did see. But Saturday Night's main event could be that one night where all three brands come together and they just
Right.
wrestle each other. Put an
Mm-hmm.
NXT guy against a SmackDown person. Put Adam Cole. I'll just say Adam Cole versus Rey Mysterio.
There you go.
That's enough we would never see. They need to consider that, Vince. I mean, get the PR people on there. I know we should get credit for that. But on to the next question. Now, this is dealing with the late great American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and it was an interesting question. The question was, if Dusty Rhodes was missing anything in his career, what was it?
If he was missing anything in his career. Hmm.
My thing was that I say the one thing he was missing to me was more world heavyweight title reigns.
Yeah, you know what? That's true because he did have them short. He gets the belt and then he loses it like what 2 weeks later, or something like that. He could have had a long title reign.
I mean, because you beat Harley Race twice
Hmm.
and you beat Flair.
Right.
You should. I would have said because he was a 3-time world heavyweight champion, but he should have won more titles than that. I
Hmm.
said anything was missing from Dusty Rhodes, that had to be it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have to be the greatest wrestler. You didn't need that, but you had the charisma. You made guys look good, whether you won or lost.
Right.
you knew how to set a feud up, and
Mm-hmm.
you knew how to end a feud, even if you was tagging with somebody, or even if you was booking.
Right.
Dusty had that mind.
He
And like
made
I said,
guys
if
a lot of money. I'm telling you.
yeah, he may got a lot of money, he made companies a lot of money.
The money. Right.
So like I said, if it was for me, the fact that he was a 3-time world heavyweight champion, he should have had more reigns.
Right.
So let's go on to the next question here. And this is dealing with what happened. Got a lot of Monday Night Raw questions on these tonight, which is cool. So you're going to get a Q&A/Raw review. So the question was, after the Fiend, what the Fiend did to Retribution, should that group end?
They need to. They should have been ended. I'm already tired of them. Even with Mustafa Ali, I like him. Don't get me wrong, but they need to go ahead and let this go. All this T-bar and retro. What is that? The reckoning and all
Rick,
that
Rick,
other crap. Yeah, they
and
looking like a
slap
bunch of
and,
bangs out there.
and
Slapjack and
slap
all that.
nuts, tap that slap nuts, whatever his name is.
Right. They look like a bunch of bangs out there.
What?
It don't make no
And
sense.
after what the Fiend did, you mean to tell me one man walked out, took out the whole Retribution by himself?
Right.
So that's letting us know Fiend on babyface.
Now I do
But you know,
like the Hurt Business and them going at it. That's the only thing I like.
yeah, that they're gonna set that up for Survivor Series, and pretty much Retribution probably gonna get squashed,
Yeah.
and probably gonna squash real bad.
Hmm.
But after what the Fiend did, Fiend walked in, took all y'all out, it made y'all look real soft.
Yeah.
It made them look soft. So I don't see them lasting very long.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't mind them keeping Mustafa Ali heel. I mean,
Right.
if you're gonna keep, I mean, give him a partner.
Hmm.
Give them a partner and let them do their thing.
Right.
So that was pretty simple, cut and dry. Now this one, we ain't going back too far, but we going back a couple WrestleManias, dealing with Zack Ryder. And the question was, when Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, should they have gave him a run with the title instead of him losing it the next night?
Yeah, they should have gave him one. Zach is a good talent, and him winning the Intercontinental that shocked me actually. See, they could have ran with that. There was none. First of all, there was shock value there, you know.
Right.
And then secondly, they could have ran with that shock value, but they didn't. I don't understand it. You know.
No, see, I can tell you the problem with WWE had with Zack Ryder. It started with the Z True Hollywood story. With the internet title, he was getting himself over.
Yeah.
He was getting himself over more than WWE was even trying to. And for some reason, they had this fix on the Miz. Like he just had to have the Intercontinental title the next night. That could have been a good feud if they
Oh.
did it right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to take the title off him, that's fine. But you're gonna do it the very next night. I mean, what's the point? What
What was
was
the
the
point
point of
of
all that
doing it?
night?
Right. Make no
I
sense.
mean, if that the case, you could have just let Miz. I mean, you could let Miz win it that night or whatever. But
Right.
you did all that night. Boom, it's over. That was very unnecessary because
Mm,
they did it somewhat with his U.S. title reign.
right.
I mean, you see, I don't know what it is when they talk about guys who know how to get themselves over, and you, in a sense, try to bury them
I don't understand
or
that.
try to bring the stock down.
Right. It's like when they get themselves over, they want to shut it down because they didn't do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and then that's exactly what it is, and that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let them if they get themselves over, they still work for you. The money gonna come in,
Right.
especially dealing with merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this question. I had to get the computer out on this. Had to get the labby lab out on this one because this one is dealing with Paul Heyman. And the question was, what Paul Heyman guy should have gotten a bigger push?
Oh, which one?
Yep.
Oh,
Or two, male or female.
okay. Let's see. The one that I think that should have got a push. Um, I want to say. mm, Now, are we tonight? I'm gonna say this. Are we talking about Heyman, like when
No, we
he's just
talking about
now starting.
we talking about any Paul Heyman guy, no matter what organization that he managed.
Okay.
So you can go as far back as you want.
That's a tough one there, man. I want to say that what's his name? I forgot already. You go ahead because
I
I'll
think
think about it once.
I think for me, because they started off with it, but they kind of just pushed it away. I think Curtis Axel should have got a bigger push, being under Paul
I
Heyman.
forgot all about him being with him.
When he got with Paul Heyman, won the Intercontinental title, and then right after that, well, you saw what happened.
Right.
I think Curtis Axel should have really got a put. I mean, once he came back, once he got rid of that Michael McGillicuddy.
Oh God. Yeah.
I mean, I thought they was about to shoot him to the moon because when you put somebody under Paul Heyman,
right,
it should go well. I mean, it didn't go well with a few. Like Ryback didn't really go the way they wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
But Curtis Axel should have got that push. Then I think about it. If you go all the way back to the WCW days, but of course, he's a big star now, legend in the game. But when Paul Heyman had a Mean Mark.
Oh, yeah.
When Paul Heyman had Mean Mark in WCW, he should have been at least once a U.S. champion, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't ready for heavyweight. They had too many top guys with heavyweight, so he couldn't get that.
Right. He had a decent feud with Luger.
Right. I actually enjoyed
that one thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I said he was walking the ropes back then, had the hard punch.
Yeah.
He should have won some championships under Paul Heyman.
Right.
I mean, when he was in Memphis and he was the Master of Pain. I mean, he was doing his thing. He was winning championships when he came to Memphis. He got to WCW just like.
Right.
He was just there. If you was tall, if you was 6'8" or taller, you come into the ring with a vest on and some chaps.
Right, just skyscraper, yeah. And then when he broke off from Spivey, a little after that, then he became his own. So yeah.
Right. I said he got under Paul Lee. I mean, he had a decent run.
Yeah.
But he should have had a championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say that myself. Mean Mark. Yeah. I'm gonna go with him because I didn't think about it until you mentioned him. And I think he should at least have a US title run. Even him, maybe even the tag team title, him and Spivey.
Right.
At least once.
And we'll see, we all see, where he ended up.
Yeah. And we know him now as Undertaker. So
all right. Now the next question, we stick in the WWE. We talking about Austin Aries. Now the question is, did Austin Aries get a bad run in WWE?
I want to say yes or no. I think he had a decent run. They didn't push him to the moon or anything, but it was more mid-card push, if any. I thought they were going to push him to the moon because of his talent, because he's a talented wrestler, but it's a yes and no. I think when he lost to Pac, we know him as he was never then, but when he lost to Pac, I think that's when everything went down after that. Nothing against Pac, but it just went downhill from there. Yeah,
because he didn't even get the cruiserweight title when he was there. And I think that was the sole purpose of him going there. But I'm gonna say this: at that period, Austin Aries should never been there.
Really,
Austin Aries should have stayed either Impact or stayed on the Indies because he was doing better and winning more. He got to WWE, it's just like he was starting over.
Right.
Then you got to put him on 205 Live. You didn't push him on Raw. You didn't push him on SmackDown. You made him an NXT guy.
Yeah, NXT.
Try to make him a 205 guy. And again, he is definitely talented. I mean, this dude, when he left WWE, went back to the Indies. Because you remember when he was in Impact, how he went to Impact, he was carrying all the championships he
Yep,
had.
that's right.
I mean, the dude can wrestle. He was good on the
Mm-hmm.
mic. He might have burned some bridges with some companies,
Yeah,
but but the talent is still
right.
there. So I think at that period, yeah, he didn't really need to be there because he should have read between the lines. So I don't know what they told him, what they sold to him, or they just threw a lot of money at him.
Yeah, because
But
that's like their end
he
all
didn't really need
be
to.
all. I got to go to the WWE. That's the end all. For them.
Because if you was gonna bring in the NXT, what you should have did how you did the Undisputed Era. You built pretty much NXT around
Right.
them. We got a funny for we taking it way back to TNA. What were your thoughts, or they want to know our thoughts on Lacey Von Erich in TNA?
Um. Of course, if for people that don't know, she is the daughter of the late Kerry Von Erich, and
Yes.
because everybody thought that it was Kevin's daughter or Kevin whatever. Said no, this is Kerry's daughter here, and she has a sister too. By the way, she on the point as well. Don't get me wrong on that. But Lacey, I think she was just there because of her looks,
Pretty much.
because she tried to wrestle. God bless her. She tried to. She did the claw and all that other stuff, but I don't think it worked out. I think she was just there for the looks. So
Right, she fell in the right pattern. She was part of the beautiful
right.
people, and that's what they were. With three beautiful
Mm-hmm.
women. She was kind of on the ditzy
Right.
side, even won the knockouts tag team belts. But yeah, you're right. She was just straight eye
Yeah.
candy. That's all she was. Because no matter how hard she tried, she just couldn't. She just couldn't get in. I don't think she was there for
Yeah.
that. So on to the next question. That was an easy one. Now we gotta talk about AJ Styles' bodyguard. Now I don't know if you've been seeing the memes how they have a really big picture of the bodyguard and they shrunk AJ
Yeah.
Styles. What are your thoughts on that? You think that's
I
gonna
think
work?
so. I mean, it makes AJ having a bodyguard. He a heel, so it makes sense. This dude's 7'3".
Now correct. Now correct me if I'm wrong. That was the guy that was standing in the door for
Right.
Raw Underground,
Right.
was it not?
He was the Shane McMahon's doorman. Yeah. And
I said it, and I like how he kind of punked the referee. The referee was trying to do his job. Dude grabbed his wrist and he was like, hold on,
mhm.
listen. I'm just trying to do my
Right.
job. We ain't got to be like, why we got to be like this?
Right.
And AJ was kind of looking like,
Mm.
yep. Now if you're gonna put that reminds me of, right? I'm gonna see if you thinking what
Talking
I'm
about
thinking. What does that
you
remind
talking
you of?
about Brian Kendrick and Ezekiel Jackson.
I would have thought that. Well, I ain't even thinking about that, but good point. I was thinking back when Shawn Michaels had Diesel.
Well, yeah.
I forgot about Brian Kendrick and
Right.
Ezekiel Jackson.
That's what I was thinking, because I'm like, you look at AJ kind of had looked like Brian Kendrick now, and then you got Ezekiel Jackson, but he ain't as tall as this dude here. I figure his name was
Right.
Jordan something. I don't know. His last name is long, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it
Long last
alone.
name. I don't even think they
Right. I
said
think
it.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. So
Now, if you doing all this, I'm pretty sure some gold gonna have to go around
oh,
his
no
waist
doubt.
now. You're gonna have to put some gold around his waist because you got to protect the
Right.
title.
Yeah, this dude is 7'3".
And that's height, and he ain't no out of shape dude. He just
Tall and
tall.
built. Yeah.
Like one of them dudes. You like if he slapped your sister, you gonna be like, well, what she do?
He won't do nothing.
Or if he slapped you, they're gonna be like, you gonna hit him back and be like,
Now
nah,
you get up.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good. I'm gonna pick my teeth up, but
Right.
I'm good. All right, we gonna stay on Raw. And the question was, did you like the Elias concert?
It was your typical lie. It was all right. It was all right. I liked it
What?
at the end what Jeff did though. That was funny.
I like this. I like it because he actually performed. He actually had a band. He performed, and we actually heard. We ain't just hear him, just dissing the crowd like he
Right.
normally do. Because the last one he did, he pretty much was talking through it. I said this time, okay, he really
Yeah.
singing. Got a band, got some burden. I said okay. I, I said you made Jeff Jarrett lip syncing concert look
Right.
way better.
Oh.
I remember when he came here last year, and when he came on the
Uh huh.
Navy base. I mean, good. I mean, he
Really.
big in person. I mean, you could tell he kind of jacked, but he
Mm-hmm.
big in person. That's a big boy. I mean, he actually wore the stuff he wore in the con. That's the type of stuff he wore when he came to
Oh,
the Navy
okay.
base. He
Oh,
was in
okay.
character. The cuff tank top
Yeah.
had the scarf. I mean, real that thing. He was still
Yeah.
babyface then, I believe so. Or he was kind of on
Yeah.
the neutral side.
Uh huh.
So I see they breaking out the whole
Right.
new album. Let's see how this Jeff Hardy storyline gonna
We'll
go.
see, cause it's gonna be more comedy if anything.
Cause he keeps saying I didn't hit you because I forgot all about the
Yeah.
car incident. So they had to refresh
Mm-hmm.
my memory.
That's why he was out, cause of that. Yeah.
Okay, since we talked about Jeff Hardy, see I like how we segue and we don't and let me tell y'all something. This don't happen, this just happened. I mean, we in two different places. He don't know the questions that I'm asking, but it's fun how it always lead into what the next question gonna be because it's talking about Jeff Hardy in a sense, but the question is actually in reference to Darby Allin of AEW. They said, "Do you think Darby Allin is a new version of Jeff Hardy?"
Not really. I don't think he is. Darby's Darby. He got the skateboard and all this. He's a different character to me. He's intriguing. Because I never seen a wrestler come through the ring on the skateboard. You know, and
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We did see that at one time. Not that good, but we kind of sort of saw it. We can't talk about them
oh
dynamic
my,
dude cats,
oh God,
sort of.
that's right.
But now if you saw AEW, I like how they added Steve-O to the mix and how he did the body bag roll.
Oh
I know
yeah.
that had to hurt. Put himself in the body and you roll
Man,
down the
I can't believe
skateboard
Steve
ramps.
O's still doing that, man. I'm surprised he
Yeah.
ain't in the hospital.
I'm I'm
Surprised he
right.
ain't paralyzed.
Now see that. Now see that's about AEW. They find somebody that fits the
Right.
wrestler's character,
Right.
and that's what I like. Like I said, he's gonna get a shot at the TNT Championship, wherever that may be, come November the 7th at Full Gear. And since we stand on Darby Allin, should he win that TNT
He will
Championship?
one day, but not right now.
Whoever,
Not right now. But he will. He'll be a future champion. I can see it.
well, I think it's all going to depend. I think if Cody wins it, I wouldn't be surprised Cody let him win because the first time they had a
Yeah.
draw. Cody beat him the last time. Why not? Why not put it on? I mean, Cody got other things to do. Cody was the executive vice
Yep.
president. He got a business to run.
Yeah.
So why not put it on? Why not put it on that young kid just
Oh
to
yeah,
see
he
what he
got that
do?
little TV show as well on TNT. So yeah.
So he got a lot going on. So like I said, it's all going to be depending on who win. But I think at Full Gear he
Okay.
might shock the world. And then he could start his feud with Ricky.
Ricky
Now
Starks.
is it Ricky
Mm-hmm.
Stark? Yep, absolute Ricky Stark, hometown boy from the NOLA. Because they walking it down because he was talking about the TNT Championship.
Yeah.
So they can have a good feud, put the belt on Ricky, and then you can have Taz have the FTW and the
Right.
TNT champion. All right, see what we got. See, we going through them. I love it. I love it. So the next question is we talking about Alba, Tenzai, John Bernard, whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
call him. But the question is, when Alba came back to WWE as Lord Tenzai, should he have came back as Giant Bernard, which he was in Japan when he was teaming
No,
up
I
with
don't
Carl
think that would
Anderson?
have worked out. Being the Giant Bernard in WWE. No. Now see Tenzai kind of worked, That made sense. Because he's coming from Japan. He just, was there pretty much most of his career. And so him coming back as Lord Tenzai, yeah, that made sense. But I don't not the Giant Bernard. That's mostly a tag team name for him. He mostly yeah.
That's his only problem. He came back at Tenzai, but
They
that
could
thing
have yeah,
failed so
it could have
bad.
worked out.
They could just brought him back. They
Yeah.
could just brought him back as Albert or
Or A Train.
A Train. A Train. A Train. He
Yeah.
was nailing it with A Train. See, he came back. He was
Yeah.
all the hell was gone. I mean, you coming back dressing like a Japanese boy, but you ain't do nothing Japanese. You wasn't karate kicking.
He looked like
You wasn't doing
Hakushi, a
nothing.
big version of Hakushi.
Exactly. That's pretty much all he was. A big version. There it is.
Yeah.
Big version of
No
Hakushi.
pad.
Y'all
Yeah.
niggas don't know who that is. Go
That's
look
no pad of the
go
night
look that
right there,
up.
Hakushi.
Because he was well known in Japan before
Yeah.
he even came to WWE. Well known. So now we're gonna take it back to Impact Wrestling. We got Bound for Glory this Saturday night. I am definitely interested in seeing this. And this is talking about the main event. Rich Swann, Eric Young, Impact World Title. Said, do you think Rich Swann, after the way they set the storyline up, with the injury and everything, will he walk out of Bound for Glory Impact World
Now
Champion?
I'm kind of split with that because my head is telling me that Eric is gonna win, but my heart is telling me I think Rich gonna do it. But my head thinking me that Eric gonna retain this title somehow. But in my heart, I'm thinking Rich is gonna do it. I think he will. I'm going mostly with my heart on this one. So I think he gonna do it. I mean, he got to all this build up.
Yeah, I might say you're right. I was just about to say he has to do it because if you do all this building up and this feuding and all this stuff, and you
Yeah.
walk out with nothing, I'm like, come on. Even if Rich Swann lose it at a Impact Plus event or something like that, he has to walk out of Bound for Glory champion. There's
Right.
no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And to be perfectly honest with you, I
Mhm.
would love to see that because WWE didn't push him like they should have. I know he had that
Mhm.
incident with his wife, who is Sue Young, by the way, for those who don't know, and they just
Yeah,
basically
because he
kicked him to the
beat that. I
curb.
mean, they dismissed the case, and next thing you know,
I'm
he gone.
he he gone, and I know they're regretting that because when he got the
Yep.
Impact, he
And
was
then him
cleaning
teaming
house
up with and then he
when he
was
got the
teaming with
Impact.
Willie Mack, and like I said, that's one of my favorite teams right now. And him and Willie Mack teaming up, man, they got good chemistry, you know. And then he went,
Oh
they
yeah,
broke them off, and Willie doing his thing. But I believe they're gonna get back together. But right now, they trying to push Rich a little bit, and then they trying to push Willie a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but
Like
he
I
has
said,
to win.
he has to walk out champ. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great wrestler. But don't let that sound fool
Hmm.
you. He's a great wrestler. And I think it will be an injustice to us all if he does not walk out Impact World Champion. If he does not walk out Impact World Champion,
Yeah.
they better tell
They
that
better
story
do
correctly.
something quick.
They better not do
Yeah.
no cheesy DQ
Hmm.
or anything like that. I mean, they got to make it work. And if he does beat him again, it better
Right.
be a hell of finish. But I think Scott D'Amore is going to do what
Right.
he has to do to make it work. Let's see. Back to the Hurt Business. Back to Monday Night Raw. Say we had a few Monday Night Raw questions, and this was talking about the segment with Titus O'Neil, trying to get into the Hurt Business.
Well, him
Did you
going
agree
trying
with
to get
that?
into the hurt business.
And what they did, trying to get into the Hurt Business, and
Yeah,
then got beat down.
agree with that, especially what they doing. I saw it coming because I thought that he was gonna kind of be their lackey, I don't see him in it, but they probably get him to jump hoops and stuff to be in it, and then all of a sudden they beat him down. But no, they were like, yeah, because I thought they were gonna have him jump
Right.
hoops, but
Cause I figure, they would, like I said, you're right. They would have bought him in, just had him do something, had him earn that right,
Mm-hmm.
and then be like, no. I think he would have been a good fit. He just would have had to really kind of just
You had to
you
get
had to
tough with me,
get tougher.
right?
Because they all know, all that they gonna tell him about all that. He could have went in and been like, all those times y'all made fun of me,
Tight,
y'all still making fun of what
right.
happened. And
Titus
so the
World
ring when I
slide
get
and
under the
all that
ring,
stuff. Yeah.
right? You, I mean, you gotta tell you can't talk about he was the
Right.
first 24/7 champion. So if that would have worked, because that would have because you gotta have, you got Bobby Lashley, you got the big dude, then you gotta have the build dude, the tall dude, kind of have that small,
Yeah.
medium, large, extra large, and
Right.
MVP,
And
the
now,
straight mouthpiece.
and then now, my
So I
my my
think
prayer hopefully will be answered when Naomi joins. Hopefully,
because
yeah.
I saw the picture. I mean, I'm seeing that happening because
Right.
she hasn't came on TV yet. So what's really going on? So that'll be the perfect setup. And now we about to take it to New Japan. And for those that don't know, the G1 Climax tournament has completed. Kota Ibushi has
Oh,
won
okay.
it for 2 years in a row. Kota Kota Ibushi, don't sleep on that kid. Not the biggest dude, not the most dude, but he's gonna be the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling moving forward in my eyes. But the question is, do you agree with him winning back to back with all that talent that's in
Well,
that
I
tournament?
mean, like I said, I haven't been keeping up with it really, but I seen him wrestle. He's a great talent, no doubt about it. But in their eyes, I'm just going from their perspective. That's yeah. It should be back to back winner. That let you know you the face of their company.
Right. I mean, you have Okada there,
Mm.
Tanahashi, you have Evil. I mean, you have the whole Bullet Club. I mean, you got
Right.
all this great talent.
They
You
forgot
got
about
Kenta
Kenta,
back.
right?
Can't forget about Kenta. And I did not know. I did some homework. Kota Ibushi, as young as
Get
he
out of
looked, that
here.
dude 38 years old. He is 38 years old and looks
That's
10,
crazy. They
15 years
said that
young.
all like Japanese people, they look young, but I mean they're older, but they look young. It's like their diet. They eat a certain diet to stay like that. You know, right? And so like
Right.
Juicy Thunder Liger, he's
I'm,
older, but he looks young as I don't know what.
right. And Kota Ibushi, I mean, this dude, he's been a never open weight champion, IWGP tag champ, IWGP junior heavyweight tag team champion, a junior heavyweight champion. He's been the IC champion. So all he needs to be is the
Right.
IWGP heavyweight champion. He's won the best of the Super
Mm-hmm.
Juniors. He's won the New Japan Cup. I mean,
Right.
he's done stuff in Mexico, winning event. I mean, he's been wrestling since
It's a long time.
2004.
Right.
So he's no slouch. He's won uh the KOD tag champ. It was another. This
Mm-hmm.
is that DDT promotion in Japan. Their tag belt. He's won this 6-man tag belt. And you can't forget about his tag team with Kenny
Oh
Omega,
gosh, yeah, I remember
the
that.
Golden Lovers.
Mm-mm.
You can't forget about that. So yeah, I see just on that alone and his style
Right.
and his stock in New Japan, have no problem with him winning it. If they see something in him and he's proven that he can do it, knock yourself out. If you win it next
Right.
year, if you really want to push it. All right. All right. So once again, we going back to Raw, and I know, man, you kind of discussed this a little bit on the previous episode, but we need to get a little bit more into it. The thoughts on Braun Strowman beating Keith Lee the way he
I'm
did.
so disappointed. I don't nothing against Braun Strowman. God bless him. But I mean, the thing with Keith Lee, it's like they don't know what to do with him. Are you kidding me? You don't know what to do with Keith Lee? You know, you putting him in these ridiculous. First of all, you change his music. You change his outfit. He was fine what he already had on in NXT. They change it
Shit,
every week like
they
they
change
don't,
his outfit every week.
they don't know what to do with him. They don't know what and it's sad. He can talk, he can work for a big man. I don't get it. What's the problem?
Cause how you gonna bring him in? He
Right.
beat Randy Orton. You beat one of the
And
top
then he just went downhill
names in
after
the
that.
business. Like, I mean, I understand you gotta lose matches.
It's the way you
That's
lose.
one thing. But the way he lost, even though even though it was a low blow to the face, yeah, I get all that. But that was a short match.
Right.
This shouldn't even win. That should at least been a
Right.
no contest, and just let him fight. I mean, I know Keith Lee came back and low blowed
No
him back,
purpose there.
but there
Right.
was no purpose. I mean, Braun Strowman still got the win, which goes back to what I'm talking about. Raw
Mm-hmm.
Underground. They could have took that to Raw Underground next week. Fight it out. If you're gonna fight it out, fight it
Right.
out Raw Underground. But there's no Raw Underground, which makes absolutely no sense. But let's talk about some NXT. We got Halloween Havoc coming up, which I'm definitely excited to see.
We'll
But
make
I'm
the
also
deal. Oh
excited
yes,
about
I'm
that
glad they
wheel.
put that
Spin the
on there.
wheel, make
From
the
what I
deal.
heard, they put a coal miner's glove match on there.
Yeah, they pretty much put a lot of the matches from
Yeah.
how it used to be when they was doing it in the 90s. So I'm glad they bringing back the concept.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like I talked about before. They need to bring back that big
Right.
pumpkin with the monster hanging on top of it.
I know
Blow
they
that up and
had
bring
on the
that out.
wheel. It was one called Shotzi's Choice, and so I guess when they land on that, Shotzi gets to choose the stipulation.
And I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's gonna
Right.
land on that. No telling what she gonna pull out. If they
Oh,
have
of
a cage
course.
hung up somewhere, the cage gonna be there.
Of course.
That cage is coming down. It's coming down. So yeah, so I'm glad at least Triple H is understanding, the importance when you're trying to bring back all these WCW pay-per-views. But at least I'm glad they're doing it. They're giving
And it's
NXT these
working.
rubs with these old
They don't need to
pay-per-views.
be on the main show. It needs to be on NXT only.
Yep, and I definitely agree with that. I mean, they're giving that show. He's putting one thing I say about Triple H,
Right,
he's
because
putting
I
his heart and
think the
soul
reason
in
also
NXT.
Triple H is doing it is to pay homage to Dusty because he respects him so much. Yeah,
Yep,
that's what it
that's
is.
exactly
Because
what it
Dusty
is.
came up with all of that stuff. Mhm.
Right. Then you had
Mhm.
then when you did the Dusty Rose tournament,
I
I know if
wouldn't be
he
surprised
would
we see
love
a
it.
NXT Slamboree, or
I wouldn't mind it.
right. They
The
got a
Legends
Starcade
NXT, the Legends
already.
reunion.
Did War Games. Let's see.
Already did War Games.
Spring Stampede. That should be a good one.
Got,
You got your Fall Brawl. Yeah, Spring
got Fall
Stampede. All of that.
Brawl.
Yeah. They could do that like in March. You know what I mean? Spring Stampede.
You got what?
Uncensored.
See, yeah, uncensored.
No, they ain't do
I
Agreed.
know
Sin,
they'll probably never do Agree
New Blood Rising.
or
All
agree
them. No.
agreed or sin. Now the next question, somebody out there dealing with the NWO. If you put a new leader in the NWO with
Oh my
current
goodness.
talent,
Who
who
this
would
is
be
a
the
good
leader?
one here. They bring the heat on now. Oh. If I was now I'm gonna say the obvious one. I'm gonna say Randy Orton, you know. Randy Orton.
Yeah,
He's the only one I can think of right
that
now.
was my
But
number one.
Roman Reigns will be a good one.
But yeah, but you know what? And I thought about this because I remember when I mentioned about how they did WW 2K20 and they did a
Yeah,
little NWO story with John Cena. I would love to see that for real. If they did that for real, make John Cena the leader of the
yeah,
NWO, and that's the time he turned heel.
yeah.
Because the way they telling it video game style, they are. I mean, it's a long story because I stopped watching it was so long. But if John Cena turns heel, go be the leader. If I had to
Right.
put you in the NWO, you would definitely be the leader. Let's talk about Goldberg. You've been reading. There's been talks about Goldberg coming back. He was looking at the Universal Championship match from SmackDown. So looks like we're gonna see him at some point. Do we need to
Man,
see him again?
I hate to say this, man. I like Goldberg. I do. I don't. No matter what everybody say, I like Goldberg back then, and I like him now. You know, but as far as in the ring, the disaster he had with the Undertaker. You know, I understand it was hot and and everything else, but even it was just it was a mess from the beginning. Well, not from the beginning, like halfway in. You know, but I mean, as far as in the ring, I
Right.
don't think so. I mean, all he gonna do is spear and jackhammer. That's it.
So
No,
if he comes back, should he go after the Universal title
I,
or should he have a rematch with the
yeah,
Fiend?
I think I don't. He don't need to go after the Fiend because it wouldn't make sense. Because the Fiend and the Lexa, they hot right now. So now, if I had to choose, he need to go after Universal
I
title.
would say if he do,
Yeah,
because I would say if he
that's
go after
true.
the Fiend gonna have to beat him.
Hmm.
You gonna have to beat him. You go after the Universal title, Roman Reigns,
Roman Reigns gonna have to beat
because
him.
we didn't see it at WrestleMania,
Yep.
right?
Because if you
So
beat
basically, he
Roman
gonna have to
Reigns, that
get beat.
momentum is just gone. All that tribal chief and stuff, yeah, all that's gone.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Man. Like I said, I don't see him losing that anytime soon. They're gonna have to bring
Hmm.
somebody in that's gonna make it work. They're gonna have to bring. I wouldn't even surprised they bring in
It's
somebody
gonna
from
have to be something
NXT
special. Yeah.
at some point. Right, it's definitely gonna be something. If he, like I said, he
Yeah.
comes back, I could see maybe the Royal Rumble. But I know nobody. I
Hell
could tell you
no.
somebody that's not gonna try him again. That's Dolph
Yeah,
Ziggler.
no.
You
That
know
ain't
what happened
happening.
to Slam?
Right.
I don't know how you. I don't know
Mm.
how your ribs wasn't
Man,
broke.
he
All
sold
them
him
spears
good,
you
man.
took.
He's a good seller. One thing about it. One of the best.
Yeah. Now that we about to take it old school. We about to take it back to the NWA, the old NWA. Magnum TA. The question was if Magnum TA would have never gotten
Oh,
injured, would
absolutely.
he have been the world heavyweight
Of course
champion?
he would. You know how hot Magnum TA was back then? Right.
Yeah,
And
with
I
the
mean,
Tom
that's a
Selleck starter
no-brainer
kit.
right there. That's an easy answer. Yeah, him beating Ric Flair would have been huge if he didn't have that accident. Magnum TA probably would have been the hottest star of all wrestling. Not just, I mean, he would have been in line with Hulk Hogan. That's how big he was. I'm telling you.
Right. And Dusty, Dusty put
Right.
him on the map.
Because
Dusty
then
made
he
him look like
start
$1 million.
South there first.
I see he was part
Hmm.
of. Oh yeah. And I see he was the United States champion
Right.
over this belly to belly suplex and everybody. And all of a sudden, boom! It just faded. And I really thought that sucked for him because he just kind of like with David Von Erich. Had David Von Erich wouldn't have died, David Von Erich would have been the NWA heavyweight champion. Same thing with Madam TA. He wouldn't have got hurt, he would have been on top. And I think it would have been a hell of a story that he won the title and he went through the Horsemen on his own and just start beating them. You know Ric Flair wouldn't have mind
Right.
taking a pinfall for that, because that would have been Money in the Bank. Let's see what we got here. Now this question here is about the movie Beyond the Mat. Somebody that should they make
No, they don't
another
need to do
version
that.
of that?
We already
Or
got
should they make a part 2 to that?
the other show, the Dark Side of the Ring. So no, they don't need to.
Yes, exactly. Because I said if you do it Beyond the Mat, you need to go touch on the indies. You need to go touch. You need to touch. Don't touch on AEW. Don't touch on W. Touch on these indies and show how they do it. Show how some of these companies do. I mean, because a lot of them are great.
And speaking of Dark,
and a lot of them are the ones we went through.
Speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, it's rumored now that Brian Pillman is next. Just highly requested by the fans.
And he needs to be.
Yeah.
And he needs to be. He definitely needs to be, because they got renewed for a new season. I mean, whoever's put them together is nailing it. We getting people like, especially a lot of the young people probably never heard of. And we talking about notepad moments. That's the biggest notepad moment watching that. Because even still, I learned something. Let's see. Earlier we talked about the NWA, and for those that don't know, I don't know if you know neither. Yes, we have a new NWA World Television Champion, and it's
congrats to the Pope.
The Pope did it, and let me tell you something. And yeah, definitely congrats to the Pope. Long overdue. My question is, why do you think Pope is not and I'm not gonna say major, because I still think the NWA is major. But why are we not seeing more of the Pope?
I don't know. I don't understand. That's a question I can't answer that. Why he's not in these promotions? He's good. He can talk. He can work. He got the good gimmick that the 4 knuckles upside your head. Right.
And he went. I know he had that on his wrist.
I don't understand why he's not on in these promotions. I don't get it. I don't know if it's his decision or what.
Because I thought he went to the NWA just to become a manager, but he got in the ring. He beat Zicky Dice.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Zicky Dice must have beat Trevor Murdoch to get the title back, and boom! Now he's the NWA heavyweight champion. And that's a big deal. Cause like I said, he was long. I know he was winning championships, out there on the indie side. He was in TNA. Why he never became champion of any, I'll never understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you even pushed him when he won the tournament to get the shot, and he still lose. You could at least put the X Division title on him. I mean, that dude was too good. Especially when he had that feud with Samoa Joe. I mean, that was nailing it. And again, go on YouTube. If you don't want to take my word for it, go on YouTube and look at it. That whole storyline, they definitely nailed it. Let's talk about Sergeant Craig Pitbull Pittman.
Sergeant Craig Pitbull Pittman. Man, when I first saw him,
what were your thoughts on him?
I was like, I was intrigued with him, because it looked like he went AWOL, literally, the way he was walking around. And then they had him go up against, of course, another military, that Cobra guy, Yeah, they had him go against Cobra. I think that was early 95, Yeah. And then he went against who else? As he had he went against some good, he went against some talent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember He fought Sting at one time,
what do you call
and I
it?
remember he had
Cold
that
red.
arm bar. Okay, he was a he was a
Right.
yeah, he was a legit amateur wrestler. I mean, you could see that in him. I think when
Oh
they dropped
yeah.
the ball on him is when they turned him babyface, and Teddy Long managed him. And matter of fact, I'm gonna throw a question in there. Did you
You
like
know
when
what?
Teddy Long was just managing all
It
these
was different.
jobbers?
It was different because managers manage top guys. You never heard of a manager managing jobbers. You know.
Right, because that's go through. He had Sergeant Pittman,
Right.
Craig Bull Pittman. Now this is after when he was already managing Doom and Ron
He wasn't
Simmons
the
and all
Godfather no
those
longer.
people.
Right. He wasn't the
This was way
Godfather
past
Theodore. No.
Theodore.
Yeah.
This was after that. So he had Sergeant Pittman.
Hard work
He
Bobby
had Ice
Walker.
Train. See, he had Jim Powers. I forgot all about Hard work Bobby Walker.
Mhm.
I mean, you literally had
Right.
WCW worldwide jobbers.
He had all of this.
That's pretty much what they were. Because I could say, yeah, in a sense that was different, but none of them really. I think then he managed Fire Nights for like a split second. As you got me, Teddy Long was a referee at one time, so he paid them dudes in Jim Crockett before he came a manager.
Right.
And now he's the general manager of SWE Fury out there in Plano, Texas. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to the women's champ Miranda Gordy, who retired Jazz, by the way, and the SWE television champion, the connoisseur Nas Planquet. They both will actually be here this Saturday night in Jackson, Tennessee for USA Championship Wrestling. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make that event.
And speaking on Teddy Long,
so she was like,
did you know that last night High Spots did a autograph signing with Doom and Teddy Long? Yeah, look, when you get a chance, look that up. Just go to the High Spots. It was called. They always virtual gimmick table. They had Ron Simmons, Butch Reed, and Teddy Long. They were signing memorabilia and autographs and turnbuckles and everything. So if you get a chance to look at that.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that because I kind of saw them, but I didn't really look into it. So you actually cleared that up. And for those of y'all who want to know, his full name is Theodore.
I remember one person asked
Rufus
him on that High Spot. He said he wants you to put Theodore all long, and then Teddy said, "Oh, he won't give him my government name." Okay. Still going. 73. Wow.
I said 73 years old and still going. Yeah, I mean, because you got to think about it. He's 73, and him and Jimmy Hart are around the same age. Jimmy Hart was 43. So he's Jimmy Hart 77, and Jimmy Hart looked great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was born in Jackson, Mississippi. For those that didn't know. Well, let's get to the final few questions before we get up out of here. If I can get back to where I was on, here we go. Now, worst GM or commissioner in any organization?
Oh, John Laurinaitis. That's right there. I mean, the people power and all that. I thought that was stupid. It definitely him. Oh,
I'm gonna do you want. Nah, I'm going Mike Adamle.
I forgot about him.
I said American Gladiator.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I said that the dude from American Gladiators. Said, yep, that is definitely was him. No. Should they even bring that back?
Right.
No more GMs, no more commissioners, no more anonymous general managers.
Right. Scrap
Well,
Iron
I'm
needs
starting to like
to head all of that stuff. He,
Scrap Iron.
he pretty much is on every brand. So,
which is Adam Pearce, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. For those that know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because he out here making the executive decisions.
Right.
Don't give him that role. I mean,
both Raw and SmackDown.
He's
Why
doing
not?
good
He's
at
on
it.
there.
It was always good.
Right.
Because he was always good on the mic. And now we about to take it to the final question. Well, we got time for two. Yeah, we got time for two. I still got a couple more. And this one we're going back to Raw. And the question was,
I didn't understand
why do you think they put Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce together?
Nothing against Lacey Evans, but you broke up. Right. You broke up the Iconics just to put Peyton back with somebody.
You shouldn't have.
And they talking about giving Peyton this big, huge single push. Now you putting her back with someone. I didn't understand that.
And now the only way this will make sense if you gonna do this, they better be
because they showed them like they was going at each other's throats.
This better be a setup to a feud.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was one of them ones. I
agree. They should have never broke up the Iconics.
So I wouldn't be surprised they bring them back. Yep, exactly.
Right.
You did it with the Riot Squad, so you're gonna have to bring the Iconics back. Especially they're gonna need some more tag teams. Because at some point, Nia and Shane are gonna have to drop them belts. So they're gonna have to put a legitimate team together and let them win them. But we're going into the final question. And this is one I thought was a good question to save for the night because it's dealing with Becky Lynch. The question was, if Becky Lynch is ready by WrestleMania, should she get a title shot? Or if Ronda Rousey comes
it need
back,
to be Becky and Ronda because that's unfinished business, one-on-one, really. To be honest. Them two got unfinished business. So, Ronda losing the title to her, yeah, they got to. There's a no-brainer on that. It don't need to be no titles, no nothing. Yeah.
Because you gotta keep it.
Yes, December.
You gotta keep in mind, I believe she has her baby in December. So that gives her to at least for WrestleMania. I'm gonna assume it'll be the late March, early April, depending on how well she trains and if she's ready. Because we saw, I don't know if you saw Ronda Rousey. She was training with her husband Travis Brown and Cowboy James Storm. So that could be telling us something. So if she comes back, and if they come back, they better be at least a semi-main event. If she comes back, because that's gonna be the match. If that happens, I'm telling you, if that happens, nobody's gonna be worrying about the title matches. So I know that I would not be surprised. They did it before. Won't be surprised that main events. If they get a crowd, if they can get a decent crowd, because they said they may try again and bring WrestleMania back to Florida. So they're thinking about trying it again. And if that happens, that they're gonna have to main event it. They're gonna have to go. That's gonna be the match the people want to see. And if Ronda comes back, now the thing about it, if they set this up, Becky gonna have to come on TV at some point.
Because if it would say
at
after,
least by the Royal Rumble.
It would say, I'm gonna say after Survivor Series or TLC or whatever.
Good.
So that's what TLC. No, that ain't TLC.
Because she has the baby in December. So you have it then. So depending on how late the baby is born,
she's gonna get back in her.
So you're gonna rest up. You probably be working out. That's why I say depending, because chances are the Royal Rumble is gonna be late July.
Yeah, right.
So between Royal Rumble and Hell in a Cell, she's gonna have to pop up somewhere.
Right.
because you're gonna have to build this up. You can't just have them just do
Right.
it.
They can't do that.
You can't
Right.
do Rocket Center. They book it a whole year in advance. They
Sit
gonna have
down
to build
interview
this
or
up.
something.
Even if
Right.
they do, you know, Instagram video,
Right.
sit down interviews, social media posts, you're gonna have to set this up. Somebody gonna have to call it out and
Oh,
get
no
it set
doubt.
up. But if they do that, I'm telling you, that's probably gonna be the highlight of WrestleMania. Now the
Ronda,
question is before we go,
and
who
the
should go
reason
over?
being because Becky did it, so Ronda they need to even it out. A series of matches, yeah. If
And
Becky got one
have
on
another
her, Ronda
series of
can get
matches.
one. They got a rubber match then. If they do it again, so
Yep. And since again, and since no man won't have a title involved, if
right.
somehow either Becky or Ronda win the title, if they do it again, then I would say
Yeah, that she
put
gonna
the
be a main
title up.
factor.
But then then if Charlotte comes back, how, how she gonna play in that match? Because I'm sure she's
Right.
not gonna forget unless they have if Oscar's still champion, unless she's feuding with Oscar. But only time will tell. So that means we got to keep watching until we get the answers that we're looking for. But that's all the questions we got. We actually went through all of them. Y'all tried to stump us, but we proved why we love doing
Yeah,
this.
we do.
But again, man, we appreciate this. There's no doubt about it. We definitely appreciate this. We're gonna continue to improve, to do better. Again, if you want us to talk about a specific topic, message us. You can hit the Notorious one up. If you got an idea, send it to him. He'll send it to me. Or go to www.snapcustoms.com. DM us. Because trust me, we do read this stuff, and we definitely look into what you guys have in mind, and we definitely appreciate your input. But with all that said, that is the end of the show.
Oh yeah.
There is no more.
Right.
It's time to go to bed. Because I'm tired. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that
sure
party,
you all
man.
too
Shoot,
from flying.
He'll take it out of you. Mm-hmm.
So right. So he's gonna get his sleep on. I'm gonna get my chill on. You guys have a wonderful evening wherever you are in the world.
Peace.
This has been the Get Snap
Peace.
Podcast. The Bad Superman, the Notorious